God bless you, and thank you for joining us. I'm Minister Billy Burton, and welcome to Sunday School Insights. This audio teaching series is an evangelistic tool brought to you by Inspirational Minutes Ministries International, Advocatus Ecclesiae Publishing, and Ministry Outpost. We hope and pray that these lessons will reach those who, for whatever the reason, either can't or won't come to a Bible study, a Sunday school class, or a traditional church service. Subscribe to our channel here on YouTube and then follow us on Facebook, where you can read your Bible lessons faithfully each week. Our Facebook link is conveniently posted below. Our background music, Worlds Away, is provided by the artistic genius of J Man at www.ourmusicbox.com. Again, we thank you for joining us, and Sunday School Insights begins now. This week's lesson is entitled, Ehud Defeats Moab. Our scriptures are found in the book of Judges, chapter 3, verses 12 through 17, 20 through 26, and 30. This week, we take a look into the history of the children of Israel. Let's start with the generation that Joshua obediently and successfully led into the promised land. They had seen their parents die in the wilderness because they disobeyed God after 40 years of murmuring and complaining under the leadership of Moses. Would these Israelites, their children, learn from their parents' mistakes? God would prove them whether they would learn to fight and defend what he had so abundantly blessed them with, and obey God or not. Sadly, they got comfortable and began to marry the daughters of the ungodly heathen tribes and nations around them. They gave their own daughters to marry strange men, and they worshipped false gods. This angered the true and living God, so he allowed them to be taken into bondage by the king of Mesopotamia for 8 years. Israel cried out to the Lord, and he raised up a deliverer who brought them out of bondage, and they had rest for 40 years. We now take a look at the grandchildren of those who died in the wilderness. Remember, 40 years is a generation. And we have now seen the generation that came out of Egypt die in the wilderness after 40 years. Their children inherit the promise and then betray God. God delivered and gave peace for 40 years. And now we are looking at the next generation. This may even be the great-grandchildren of the Exodus generation. Verse 12 of Judges chapter 3 says, "And again the children of Israel did evil in God's sight." So God strengthened the king of Moab, who took this new generation into bondage for 18 years, until God's people cried out to him. This time God raised up Ehud, meaning he that praises. Ehud was a Benjamite, left-handed, but well able to use both hands equally. The children of Israel sent the king a present by him, which allowed him close private access to the king. Ehud made a dual-edged dagger, which he tied hidden under his right thigh. He told the king that he had a secret message from God after the king had accepted the present. The king of Moab had a private porch that could be closed off from the rest of the palace, so he invited Ehud to the porch. Ehud had already been checked for weapons as if he were right-handed, which most men were. But remember, he was left-handed. The king was very fat, and in private, when the time was right, Ehud thrusted the dagger so deep into the king's stomach that the fat folded around the dagger and the king of Moab couldn't get it out. The king's men found him dead later on that evening, but Ehud had escaped to finish what he started. He led the children of Israel into victory over Moab and delivered them from bondage. They remained free for 80 years, 2 whole generations. We ask that you follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Come back and join us here again next week, God willing, for another lesson of Sunday School Insights. Our background music, You On My Mind, was composed and performed by J Mann at www.ourmusicbox.com. God bless you.